I am now very pleased to offer the floor to the Secretary General, Mr. José Miguel Insulza. Secretary General, you have the floor.
Gracias, presidente. Trataré de ser muy breve para dar el mayor tiempo posible a las expresiones y aportes de las organizaciones de la sociedad civil en esta sesión extraordinaria del Consejo Permanente. Quiero en primer lugar agradecer a los representantes de la sociedad civil, darles la bienvenida a nuestra organización y reconocer además sus constantes esfuerzos para seguir el trabajo de la OEA y contribuir con sus experiencias y recomendaciones a nuestro fortalecimiento y también al enriquecimiento de la democracia en la región.
I would now like to open the floor to our special guests. I am sure that the representatives of the member states would like to react to the proposals that might be presented. I'll offer the opportunity to do so immediately after the presentations have been completed. So far, we have received the requests of 7 organizations to take the floor. I will now offer the floor to Mr. Luqman Patel, Director of International Programs and Cooperation of the International Institute for Development of Citizenship of Brazil. Mr. Patel, you have the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary General, delegates, fellow members of civil society, ladies and gentlemen. The importance of fostering citizenship and promoting the participation of adolescents cannot be overstated, nor set aside in any democratic movement that discusses plans, policies, and actions that directly and indirectly affect this important segment, which today accounts for almost 1/5 of the world's population. Historically, before the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, the UNCRC, the participation of adolescents in international fora was virtually non-existent. However, since the adoption of the UNCRC in 1989, promoting the concept of participation has been a concern of governments, civil society organizations, and international bodies around the world. During recent years, OAS member states have expressed a growing interest to promote mechanisms and opportunities for the participation of children and adolescents, participation being a democratic right affirmed by the Inter-American Democratic Charter. I would like to cite as an example Resolution 13 of the 76th meeting of the Directing Council of the Inter-American Children's Institute, which recommends that the member states create concrete, effective mechanisms to ensure the participation of children and adolescents in the political fora of the region. Adolescent participation means considering their present and their future, and, as such, their participation, their voice, as a fundamental human right. Upholding this right and promoting the democracy and participation of adolescents not only ensures that they are involved in the decisions that determine their current reality and their future, but also strengthens and educates adolescents on the principles and practice of democracy and civic participation, thereby providing them with the opportunity to exercise their citizenship. Given that any decision made or contribution given by member states, by civil society organizations, and other national and international bodies will directly affect the lives of these millions of citizens for decades to come, how is it possible to address these issues without the direct and democratic participation of adolescents of the hemisphere? This is the motivation that leads me to recommend to the Organization of American States that there be created democratic spaces of participation for and with adolescents at summits, conferences, events, and other fora of discussion, in direct coordination with member states, civil society, and partners. I would like to propose that the creation of these democratic spaces enables adolescents to give their opinion, to be heard, adding their values and interests, reaffirming once again their capacity as actors in the process of positive and impactful contribution on the agenda of the OAS and in the construction of public policies of member states. I further propose the creation of mechanisms to integrate and ensure genuine and significant participation of adolescents in collaboration with the OAS, members of civil society organizations, and other related bodies and organizations of the hemisphere through the following points. Strengthening the participation of adolescents, respecting the principles of best interest, non-discrimination, progressive autonomy, and right to life and right to development. Establishing a space for adolescent participation as an adolescent-friendly and inclusive environment that enables the integration and participation of adolescents. Ensuring that democratically selected adolescent participants are adequately prepared, have the means to attend and contribute to proceedings. Guaranteeing that adolescent participation is free and democratic, genuine and meaningful. Creating conditions for adolescents to develop and present recommendations to be taken into account. Ensuring mechanisms of follow-up and monitoring as a vital part of the process of engaging adolescents in active citizenship and the development of their communities and countries. With these recommendations, IIDAC conveys its unreserved conviction and support for hemispheric integration with the participation of adolescents, with the hope that these adolescent citizens may fully enjoy the values of citizenship and democracy as fundamental human rights, and that they may have the right to be part of the processes that shape their lives for today and tomorrow, the present and the future of the Americas. I would like to close with the words of Rayane Oliveira, a 17-year-old adolescent from the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil. The life of an adolescent is transformed when we actively participate in decision-making processes that involve relevant issues in the world that affects us, that affects our countries and our own identity as adolescents, when we give opinions and debate on the challenges affecting us and our society. And when our opinions are taken into account by adults in decision-making processes, we feel that we are part of the solution and not the source of the problem. We leave the conformity created in our social environment and begin to see our value in society, the value of democracy, the pride of being citizens, recognizing that what it is important is not where you come from, but where you want to go. We understand that the winner is the one who overcomes the adversities of life, one who dreams, thinks, and makes the story happen. Thank you.
Mr. Patel, thank you very much for your remarks. I'm now pleased to offer the floor to Secretary General Insulza.
Muchas gracias, presidente. Quiero en primer lugar agradecer todas las intervenciones que aquí se han realizado. Creo que, a diferencia incluso de algunos debates nuestros, que se concentran casi siempre en el capítulo 4 de la Carta Democrática Interamericana, han habido intervenciones que han ido bastante más allá de esto. Quiero saludar en primer lugar la intervención del señor Patel, del International Institute for Development of Citizenship, and I think that the importance and the relevance of adolescent political participation, starting political participation from a very young age, is essential. In some of our countries, this has gone the other way. In many of our countries, courses on democracy or on civic matters and others have been excluded from the curriculum, which where they were before, and very little is encouraged is done to encourage the participation of young people in politics, and unfortunately that has also a negative response. So I think that the work you are doing is very relevant.